Hey everybody, it's me. Um, this is the first video on my channel. How do you expect me to intro this? Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm not about that shit. I don't care. I'm just making this, firstly because I'm bored, and secondly, this this build is fun. It's dog shit, which we'll get into. I'll get into that. It's dog shit, let me tell you. But but I'm enjoying myself. So anyways, as you can see by the title, this is going to be. It might be. Fingers crossed. Like the first video in this Enchantress, Sorceress series, maybe. So I thought I'd make like a first video for all you degenerates out there that just want to watch another video about a build in Diablo that just covers everything that you already know. So cool. For like there may be two people that have no idea what this is and they're like, oh my god, he's slapping stuff with a sword. Oh my, that's crazy. This, oh my god. Usually it's just a shitty character that just blips around the screen and throws out blue orbs. If you're not doing that, you're basically playing assassin or barbarian. So welcome. This is not a barbarian build. This is a shitty sorceress build. So if you get really bored of destroying everything in the fucking game, just like that, hang about with the boys, and join the club of basically a guide on how to ruin your fucking character. So welcome. So I'm going to go through a bit about the Enchantress source. I'm not sure how much I'll dive into gear because I want to use this video to kind of reel you cunts in a bit, and then hopefully you'll stick around, get all cozy, have a couple of beers on the couch, and then I'll show you my MF gear and some other goodies that I got, you know, in my back pocket. But anyways, I digress. Let's get into the fun, eh? So shit. So I've got a level 90 sorceress. Ignore the zeal damage and shit. You know what? I'm gonna relog just so I can show you my base damage, and then for those kiddies that like seeing that, all the big numbers show up, and then you know I could totally send this to my editor. I don't have an editor, and then they can put like a big, like a wow thing when the number comes up. Oh, wowee. Cool. So look, 500 damage. Sick. So I'm level 90 sorceress, with an enchant sorceress. For those that have no idea what this is, basically you're using the enchant skill. So the enchant skill, as it says here, enchants equips weapon of targeted character or minion, adds fire damage to melee weapons. Why would you do that on a this is a caster. This is a it's what they call a sorceress, mate. Why are you using melee weapons? And I'm like, you know what? Because I don't know. Stick around. We'll figure that out. I'm on a journey of self-discovery, and it's never-ending, okay? So just sit the fuck back. Enchant skill is this one here in the fire tree. Makes sense. Yep. Yep. Easy. Fire. Two clickies on these two will get you down to this clicky. So they're what we call prerequisites if you want to use big words. If you're on a date and you want to use big words, you know, get some eyebrow raises or just a individual eyebrow raise, you can do that. Max out enchant because it's an enchant build. Bing bong bing, and then it says little green ticks at the bottom. Receives bonuses from warmth. I would argue it's still you can get bonuses from staying hydrated yourself as well, so that's not actually listed. So I'm not sure if it gives a damage bonus per se. I need to check that on the wiki, but I would definitely stay hydrated as well as maxing out warmth too. So ninth 9% per skill. Makes sense, right? Square block fits through square hole. We're learning here, aren't we, boys? So fire mastery, max that out as well because you're using fire skills. Who would have thought, right? So I'm sure everyone here who's picked up this game knows the sorceress has like 4 other skills that you always use, and if you don't, then you're brain dead. So you've got 1 into frozen armor, Just because if someone slaps you, then they're like, oh, I'm cold, and then I'm less likely to hit you again, and you can teleport away with if you got low fast hit recovery or some shit. Cool. One skill. Totally worth it. The other ones is one into static charge, which is basically like a caster's equivalent of just casting like crushing blow, just knock down the percent. Although it works, lesser on the hard difficulties, it's still a no-brainer with one skill point. One into telekinesis. Ignore the 20, my bruv. Telekinesis for picking up shit. And then you've got teleport, which everyone knows. If you ever see anyone not using the teleport skill, if they're using teleport charges on a sorceress, let me know, please. Just hit me a DM. We'll find out their address. We'll dox the shit out of them, because fuck everyone who uses teleport charges on a sorceress. They are absolutely brain dead. And the cool thing about this skill, or this build, is you don't need many skills to max it out, which is great. Right? So you got some room to maneuver around, to try and figure out what actually works for you, which is nothing, which I've kind of found out. Nothing really works. So you've got room to try and convince other people that you know what you're doing, really. And I don't. So this is me trying to convince other people I know what I'm doing. So you've got 20, 20, 20, 62. We'll max that out. Plus 1 is 63. This is math with the kids. 64, 65, 66. That's it. 66. So when you're about like nearly level 60, you've got some quests done, then you're basically maxed out this build. So obviously I'm level 90, so I've got spear points and I laid them out into energy shield. I cannot be bothered going into that now. To be honest, I don't have the real estate in my head to really cover that. I haven't even looked into the proper oh my god, I'm not doing it. I'm stressing myself out thinking about it. Other people like to put their points into like chilling armor because it gives the highest defense bonus. It's dog shit. Some people like doing a frozen orb spec with cold mastery. It's dog shit. You just end up throwing frozen orbs. Even though they're half damage frozen orbs, they're still more effective than going like a full enchant build. So like, what's the point anyway? Some people like doing fireballs and meteor, which is they just end up throwing fireballs and most of the immunes in the game are fire anyway. So what's the point in using enchant? What I'm trying to say is there's plenty of routes to waste your time. And hopefully this is going to be a start of a series where I can show you as well how to waste more of your valuable fucking time in this game. So let's go briefly into the build. Do I want to get into gear? I'll show you briefly what I'm using. So basically I'll chuck on a bunch of pre-buff gear first, and we'll go from there. So I've got my cute little almost robes here, my little gown with my +3 enchant, 14 fire skill damage. Oh, love it. Mage fist, +3 blue rare amulet, pretty cheap. We'll put on the +3 fire skills helmet, and we'll switch to here. So this is going to be your pre-buff gear. Oh, excuse me. Okay, that should give me 43. All right. So this is what would be your pre-buff gear. So you'll basically you'll get dressed, have a couple of drinks, get in a good mood, and then you'll put on your going out outfit, and you go with the lads. So you got the confidence to talk up some chicks later. Does that kind of make sense? I don't really go out, to be honest. I really tried with that analogy. So the cool thing about this pre-buff gear is most of it is reasonably cheap. Some of them can be more expensive on the higher end, and once you do get the pieces that are kind of best in slot, you can socket them, such as this helmet, and you can put in a fire facet. If I have one here, I can show you. I do. So I've got a couple here. So in regards to the pre-buff, the only stat on these facets that matter, if you were going to use them, would be the bottom stat of the plus fire skill damage. Because when you're casting the fire skill, the minus enemy fire resistance is totally irrelevant. It's just going to be on the initial buff itself. So think of it as Fire Mastery. It gives you plus damage, not minus resistances. So you're not going to have this on when you're actually hitting cunts with a sword or whatever. It's just for the initial buff. So ideally you want 5% fire skill facets, and you'll chuck them in all the pieces that you have, like a four-socketed shield with five fire facets is obviously going to be best in slot, but that's really expensive. And then, you know, stack our inventory with charms and everything for the like. So what I've got here is I have a +3 Eldritch with 10 fire skill damage, really low, but it's still better than anything else I've kind of come across. 3 fire skills helmet, which is pretty much, I think it's the best in slot, the most skills you can get there. So as soon as I get a 5 fire facet, or maybe I'll chuck the 4% in there. 3 fire skills amulet, really cheap, and best in slot there as well, because we're only looking for plus skills. Literally nothing else matters, because we're swapping this shit straight out. Spirit, cheap as shit as well. The other alternative, as I said, would be 5 facets in there, which would be 20% fire damage. This is near perfect, 14% with a +3 enchant, which is really important on these almost robes. This gives quite a large amount of damage bonus to the enchant, just this one piece alone. Obviously, chucking a facet in there would be beneficial. Mage Fist is dog shit cheap as well. You've got +1 on there. I do have the what do you call it, arachnid thingy sitting somewhere, so you've got a +1 you can fit there, and then obviously another +1 on each of the rings, but I'm poor as shit, so that's what I've got for now. Stack out your inventory with the +1 fire skills, and then that gives me a whopping 43. Oh, wowee. So if we look down here, it lasts for about 3 days, about 3-4 days, at like just under 1200 seconds, so it's pretty sick. So we don't need to, you know, pre-buff every time, but it pays to have slightly longer duration games, so you don't have to like do a 5-minute run and then swap out again, because it gets pretty tedious. But we'll get to like doing runs and shit later. So with the enchant skill, what's really cool is after you get up to like 35 plus levels, you get a decent amount of attack rating, so it gives you 398%. When I chuck that on, I'm pretty much like 95% on hitting most things. I need to double check that for bosses. It's probably lower for bosses, but so we go on to fire damage. It's about 3200 to 3700. This is not yet amplified by Fire Mastery and stuff, and I'm not sure if I had other plus fire bonuses such as my facets. I'm not sure if that would apply to this number down here on enchant, but when we chuck that on, as you can see top left, 14k to 16k, and let's check out his ID. Hello, his ID. Yeah, 38 to 7k. So now we can swap over to this. So I'm going to just show you a little test run. I'm using my Storm Shield and my Passion Blade, which gives me Zeal, so I can slap some boys. Let's just, I don't really need to swap out too much gear. I'll chuck on an Andes. I'll chuck on that for some attack speed. I have my Gore Riders on. We'll swap that out for a High Lords. And what you can do is you can swap out these fire skills, because you're getting no benefit from any active fire skills that you're casting. You've already casted, so these fire skill charms you can swap out for max damage charms, lightning, life, all of that sort of thing. Usually life would be a good idea, because Sorceress gets the lowest amount of life per point in vitality in the game. So I've got 234 and 693. I'm just running around like a wet sock, just like getting absolutely slapped. Takes me down to like 20%. So this is the build. There we are. Chuck on Frozen. I'll chuck on an energy shield just because I have it there. And let's zip around a few places. So I'll get into like my other full set itemization builds with like Zeal later on. This is just to show you a kind of test run, just to get you boys a little bit, you know, a little bit wet, a little bit interested, a little bit keen, you know. As some of you are probably thinking about commenting, oh, hey, you're just teleporting around with your merc. How do we tell if the merc's not killing anything? Fuck you, he probably is. He's enchanted as well, so he hits like an absolute freight train. And, I mean, I need him. I can't really do much without him. With the Crushing Blow and Deadly Strike, you still do a reasonable amount of damage to some fire immunes. I've found that some champion packs with fire immunes just have to skip them, really. Other ones I can kind of slap around. I think I need to stack a bit more fast hit recovery for this to kind of work right, a bit more smoother. But it's okay. It's okay. It's kind of fun. It's kind of fun. Obviously, there's places like Chaos Sanctuary and Travancore, which we are never going to touch with this build because I don't have Dream. What is dog shit about this is the majority of all the immunes in the game are fire immunes, and this is unfortunately a fire damaging build, is it not? But speaking of fire damage, let's go nut on Endariel real quick because she is so weak to fire damage. That is one of the places I like farming with this build, just so I can, when I'm trying to farm other areas and I die 6 times, as you can see my XP bar is near the bottom. That's probably why. I'll just come down here, nut on Endariel real quick, get a little bit of serotonin boost, start a new game, and then it's just it's a hellish cycle, and I question its effect on my mental state sometimes, so I'm not sure. If you're concerned, leave a comment. I don't care. I'm trying to think of other positives to say about this build, but like every other Sorceress build has something better than this, in some sense. Frozen Orb is just the best, right? Everyone does that, everyone knows that. But if you're bored of doing all the cookie cutter stuff, definitely try this. Run around wearing some weird gear, get people asking you in chat, oh my god, what are you wearing? That's so weird, that's so strange, that's so quirky. Look at that helmet, it's so quirky, am I right? If you want to show off the lads online, and the rest of the degenerates, definitely play this. That wasn't much of a flex, I didn't hit it too fast, because, you know, Zeal locks on to the enemies around. Whatever, get it, I tried. I think I'm probably gonna not go back there, but go back to town and then say, I'm probably gonna end the video there. I mean, obviously I'm rambling shit, but I can't be bothered getting into my other pieces of builds. I kind of want to leave that for some other videos. I'd like to get into range with Demon Machine, maxing out block chance, looking at some attack speed breakpoints with Zeal. It's kind of fun trying to hit those, as well as trying to meet like the faster cast rate breakpoints in conjunction too. So I'd be keen to like have more focused builds for that. Try some fun gear, like yeah, maxing out attack speed and shit. So that was just kind of an intro video, first one on my channel. So I mean, if you enjoy that, if you want to hang around, if you I don't know, I'm just kind of making this because I want to. So I mean, if someone else, even if one other person is like, hey, that's cool, that's quirky what you've done, that's really cool, hell yeah, leave a comment, and I don't know, I don't really care. Actually, leave a dislike, because only I can see that, no one else can see that. So that's more personal, it's just between us. So leave me a dislike, and then I'll see that. Flick me a DM as well. Flick me a DM. But yeah, thanks for watching my shitty teaser build series, I guess. So I'm thinking for the next one, I'll probably go through this Zealer build properly without energy shield. That'll be another time. So next one I'll go through full Zealer with block chance, and then hopefully I'll try and get some screenshots on there with breakpoints and stuff like that. So it'll be a bit more in depth. So thanks. See ya.